The Champagne Stakes is a Grade 1. It's the eighth race on the Saturday card at Belmont at the Big A, part of their fall championship meet. This is a traditional Breeders' Cup prep for the Juvenile. It's run at 1 mile around one turn for 2-year-olds. And we take a look at this field. Obviously, Chancer McPatrick is the star here. He had a very nice win in the Hopeful despite some trouble. And you've got some of the usual trainers with the usual suspects. Tip Top Thomas for Todd Pletcher, as well as Uncaged for Rapoli Stables. And you've got most of these are coming off of maiden scores, but Smokin' Wicked has run a few times in some stakes races, and Moplex as well, the Sanford winner. So it's a pretty good field top to bottom. We take a look at it, and of course, because they're 2-year-olds and most of them are coming off maiden scores, you've got a lot of horses who like to run up and near the lead. Most notably from them would be Tip Top Thomas, who had a maiden score and was pushed all the way around. It was pretty impressive. He showed a lot of grit with some pretty fast fractions, and he was able to survive. His pedigree is a bit of a concern to me, and you've got Todd Pletcher and you got Irad, but I'm not sure how much more ground this one really wants, being by Volatile. And he's going to have a lot of company up front. It doesn't mean that he can't survive any type of pace duel if it gets a little hot. I think he can, but I do wonder whether he'll have enough in the tank to take it down. So Tip Top Thomas, to me, is a little bit of an underlay, and I'm just not going to use him. I'm going to look for value elsewhere. If you want to put him on the bottom of the try, I could certainly see it. But that would be the extent of my interest. Moplex I'll talk about. He probably would be a bit of a surprise that I'm leaving him off. And the reason being is that he had a nice win in the Sanford Stakes, but he followed it up in his next effort in a restricted stakes race, and it kind of gave me a little bit of a pause that he would immediately not advance up into a Grade 2 or Grade 1, yet he would go into an ungraded stakes where it was probably an easy payday, I guess they thought. But looking at that race, he basically ran the same race that he did in the Sanford. And that's a little concerning because he didn't improve against ostensibly a weaker field. The other part of it was in the stretch, they really had to get after him to get going. And he just got up in time. And the posting I had for the Futurity, Ferocious suffers from the same problem. It's like the light bulb went off just in time that, oh yeah, I'm supposed to win this race. So I have some questions about Moplex. I also wonder about the distance, particularly with what's likely to be a fairly lively pace. So at 12-1, the price isn't bad, but I'm just going to leave him off because I think I got better value elsewhere. Vekoma rides. I liked his maiden win. I think this horse has some talent. Vekomas have been doing awesome first time out. Wonder a little bit about the second start following that up. But I think this horse showed some ability here. And the fact that he was able to run at the fractions he did with still plenty left tells me that he's going to be okay at a mile. And he may surprise. And at 8-1, I think you're getting a nice price. Smokin' Wicked for Dallas Stewart. His barn is just on all cylinders right now. This is a hard knocker. I'll expect he'll probably be on the lead. And he's shown enough to me to think that he can hang in there. I don't know that he's got enough to wire this field, but I think he's one that at 12-1 is a nice price, and I think he can stick around. A mile might be pushing it a little bit for him, but on class, because some of the other speed in here is a little cheap, I think he can probably hang in there. Colonel Bob had a pretty nice maiden score at Parks, but he didn't really beat a whole lot. And at 30-1, that's probably pretty justified. Maybe he could show a little bit more for Butch Reed. Butch Reed doesn't ship unless he means it. But I think he's a little overmatched here. So 30-1, bottom of the try. You want to go for it? I can see it, but I'm going to let him go. Executive Order had a pretty nice score at Saratoga, I thought, and showed me that I think there's a little bit more in the tank for this one. And I I think at 15-1 he offers a good price. Phil Serpy's known to throw a bomb in once in a while, and I think he's got a good one here. He looked pretty professional, and I think the distance will be okay. And at 15-1, I like the price, so I'm going to use executive order. Uncaged, I really like. He is the traditional Todd Pletcher, Mike Rapoli entered in a graded stakes race for 2-year-olds, but he's more than that. Watching his maiden score, this horse definitely wants more ground. His pedigree screams it, and I liked what I saw. This horse, when he fills out, it should be pretty dangerous, I think. But as it is right now, I think he can definitely factor in this race. I think sitting just off the leaders, Flavian Pratt aboard doesn't, or not Flavian Pratt, I'm sorry. But he should be in very good position. Joel should put him where he needs to be. And I like Uncaged as a potential upset candidate. At 9-2, I think that's a square price. One I'm going to use liberally. Lethal Speed is a late runner, so we can maybe think about him for the bottom of the exotics, but his speed figure-wise just doesn't match up, and he really didn't beat a whole lot. 50-1, again, bottom of the tride, that's the extent of my interest. That's what the asterisk means, underneath only, but I would likely not use him at all. So that leads us to Chancer McPatrick. The Hopeful was just an outstanding race when you consider he had trouble at the break and lost an iron, spotted the field a fair amount of ground, and was able to close like a freight train very wide. I think it's fair to say that Ferocious probably should have won the race because tactically he had the big advantage, but he suffers for the same thing I talked about with Moplex. It just took him a little while for the light bulb to go off and discover, oh yeah, I'm supposed to win this. And that's a very troubling thing with Ferocious. We talked about that in the Breeders' Futurity, and I'll refer you to that posting if you want to learn more about it. But certainly this horse has a ton of talent. You can't win a race like that with all those kind of problems unless you do. Chad Brown's likely going to fix the gate issues. And I think this horse probably will be more forwardly placed than he has been. And I like him a lot in this spot. I don't see no reason why he won't win this race. So we look at our wagering strategy. Obviously, Chancer McPatrick is going to be a very short price. So let's go for a value wager for the win. Let's go with Uncaged. Again, I think this horse wants more ground. And the fact that he was able to do what he did in his maiden score at a distance he probably doesn't like tells me that with added ground, he could be pretty dangerous here. So I like Uncaged a lot here. Hopefully we'll get a good price. We'll go with a 10-5 cold exacta. Then we'll box the 5 and 10. Then we'll do a key with 10 on top with 6, 7, and 9. I think Vacoma Rides, to me, of the three, looks to be the most formidable. But Executive Order, I would put second, and then maybe Smokin' Wicked as third because I think with all the pace he has to deal with and his pedigree being suspect, I think he can stay in on grit and class, but probably more likely for third. So then we'll go with a trifecta. We're going to use 5-10, 5-10 with 2, 3, 6, 7, and 9. So we'll throw in Tip Top Thomas as well as Lethal Speed. And hopefully we get some odds with Lethal Speed. That would be great if he comes in third. And then we'll do 5-10 with 6, 7, 9 with 5-10. And then we'll do one final wheel with 10 on top with 5, 6, 7, and 9. And if we get our way, we get paid 3 different ways possibly. Or at least 2 in the trifecta. Sorry. So it should be a good race. Chancer McPatrick is definitely the horse to beat. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And it should be a great day of racing at Belmont at the Big A, as well as Keeneland. Lots of Breeders' Cup ramifications and lots of winning you're in, so it should be an awful fun Saturday. Hope this analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy. I wish you the best of luck as always. And keep on the lookout for more postings for Aqueduct as well as Keeneland. We've already got some for Friday at Future Stars Friday at Keeneland. And we'll cover the Saturday slate as well, and we'll get a pick 5 sequence in there for you to take a look at. I believe Keeneland has an all stakes, so we'll likely tackle that one. So that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.